Pete Crow-Armstrong is the only player in MLB history with 25 home runs, 25 stolen bases, and 70 runs batted in before the All-Star break. Now, repeating that, I did not say Cubs history. I said Major League Baseball history. Pete Crow-Armstrong, 25 home runs and 25 stolen bases before the All-Star break. He joins a list of 3 players to do so. Bobby Bonds in 1973 and Eric Davis in 1987. Pete Crow-Armstrong, most home runs from a Cub in their age 23 or younger season, 25 in 92 games. Chris Bryant hit 26 in 151. So I venture to guess that PCA is going to own that record from our good friend Christopher Lee Bryant by the end of the year. Pete also, after this game, bumping to, I believe, 5.1 wins above replacement. Astounding. If I had told you before the season that he would have 25 steals you would have thought was low, but 25 steals, 25 home runs, and over 70 RBIs, you probably would have said, wow, he had a great year, right?
Yeah.
It's July.
Yeah. No, I know we all love to have fun and talk about Pete, and some of those, just sit in that for a second. Have we ever had a Cubs player like that?
I do think it's kind of like something we haven't seen, Kevin.
He could be Alfonso Soriano with the glove. I know people are like, oh, what if he's not? Alfonso Soriano hit over 400 career home runs. And was
right. You mean Alfonso Soriano's bat with the best glove in baseball.
And a better base runner and an elite base runner. I mean, Pete Crow-Armstrong is the first half MVP of the National League, and I really don't think that anybody was standing in his way for that. Everybody will say Shohei Ohtani, and Ohtani is excellent. He's had an awesome first half in his own right. But Pete has impacted the game in every series like no Cubs player I've ever seen. Chris Bryant was amazing in 2016. 39 bombs, clearly deserving of the MVP. And they, obviously they did special things in 2016 and had a great first half and even better second half. They got on a roll and never stopped. What Pete has done this first half, by the way, has 25 homers now. Ian Happ led the team last year with 25 home runs. So him
Amazing.
and Seiya both with 25 homers in the first half of the season. With a short porch coming up for the next 3 games, Pete could very well hit a couple more. It's a favorable ballpark. You're looking at a guy who could easily, have a 40-40 season and maybe even more than that. And it's not a dream anymore. It's a reality. I mean, he is on pace to do things that we've never seen a Cubs player do in our lifetimes. And he's not slowing down. It's not a fluke, man. I mean, in May, it was like, wow, this guy's incredible. June, okay, he's not stopping. 2 home runs today. It's not stopping. I mean, he is a 5-1 F4 player right now.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. If he could be a 10 WAR player, I'm going to look up the amount of guys who were a double-digit WAR player last year.
Well, I do have some WAR context for you, at least for the context of the Cubs. But like the one thing too that jumps out is like he bounces back, man, which is really, I don't want to say like necessarily unique, but always something you take notice of in young players. Like some of the at-bats he had earlier in this series weren't his best. We've seen him get a little frustrated at times. He throws his helmet or, fake, breaks his bat, that type of thing. And so for a young player to have those games and bounce back and be able to say, nah, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm going to hit 2 home runs today, that's the sign of a guy that is really growing and maturing and developing into this. When you look at the numbers, it's like, oh my God, he's breaking out. What a superstar. Those are like some of those little things too that really help kind of underscore that like he isn't allowing himself to get in his head too much. He's not beating himself up too much. He's not tweaking his mechanics because he had a couple strikeouts. He is just powering through, sticking to what is working for him, sticking to himself. And he comes back on Thursday here and hits 2 home runs. But some context, I always mention him, but from friend of the show, Matt Clapp at the Blog Finds on Twitter. Kevin, I'll give you a guess. And I feel like this is a good one. We always go through this. Like, I know some people don't like wins above replacement WAR. They don't like some of the advanced stats, but wins above replacement, it's putting all of the value together, the defense, the base running, the offense, and putting a number. This is what they are contributing to their team. Just think of it that way without getting into the weeds of how they're calculating it, et cetera, et cetera. This century, so 2000 on, how many Chicago Cubs in full seasons, not just by July, in full seasons, would you guess put up at least 5.1 wins above replacement or higher since the year 2000 in a full season on the Cubs?
Season, I'll say less than 10, probably less than 8.
It's 14.
Okay.
Some of them are repeat players. But so just to be clear on that, 14 Chicago Cubs since the turn of the century have put up higher wins above replacement totals in a full season than Pete Crow-Armstrong has right now, and it is not even the All-Star break. That is unbelievable, Kevin. Like, when we talked about Pete and what he could become, and you even dreamed on it, I think if I had told everyone at the beginning of the year that he would have these numbers at the All-Star break, 25 homers, 25 stolen bases, 70 plus RBI, a 5.1 win player at the break, you would have said, Corey, I know you're dreaming, but be like even a little realistic. This is crazy.
Let's not that I'm definitely not pouring cold water on this conversation by any means. What it could go down a touch, right? WAR is it could go down, but I don't know. But he's still, regardless of what he's done, it's truly been incredible. I've had more fun watching this guy play baseball than any Cubs player I can remember in a long time.
It's really remarkable. Maybe a little bit, but no, I don't think so. It's really been remarkable. And like, obviously when I'm looking at these, 5+ win seasons, the names are rather familiar. Anthony Rizzo did it a couple times. Sammy Sosa did it a few times. Javi Baez, Chris Bryant, Alfonso Soriano in 2007 is in there. Chris Bryant, 2016-17. The best season, in the last 25 years or so is Sammy Sosa in 2001. That was a 9.9 win season. Like, that's the company that Pete is in, and Pete is 23 years old, like, and sort of just, it can get better. Like, and, of course, look, like, this could be the best season he has. Like, this could be the peak, even if the rest is really good. You never know. Like, of course, it's a long career. Baseball's a strange game, whatever. But I think especially as we're hitting the All-Star break and he's going to be featured in the All-Star game, it is a really good opportunity. I know everybody's been appreciating him, but it's a really good opportunity to just sort of take a step back and really marvel in this, because it is one thing to sort of see it in the box scores and, see him hitting homers and whatever, but to truly appreciate the context. He is in company of his own in Major League history, or in the company of absolute legends on lists of 5 players, 3 players ever to do something. And he is on his way to one of the best seasons a Chicago Cub has ever put up.